This is Shalaya with Scott LeRoy Marketing, and today we are going to be going over the new website platform within Command. So we're going to start with the basics and go over how to customize some of the information that's being loaded on the new website, how to get those testimonials added, swap your background images, and some of the items that are still TBD and have not yet been launched. We will cover a little bit of everything, so just be sure that you are informed on the new sites as much as possible. So to start, you do want to log into the Command platform. So you can do that by going to agent.kw.com. If you have not yet launched your new websites, be sure that before you do launch those, that you review our tip videos and information on how to preserve your website content before switching over to the new site platform. So first, before we get started, I am going to show you this other tab that I have open. So if I click over here, this is going to be our SLM website here. So if you have any trouble accessing our site, you just simply log in with your Market Center number. So what we're going to do here is we are going to hover over Agent Resources. And then we have a link here for the new KW agent websites. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I will also drop a link directly to this page in the chat box for you. So within this page, we have resources based around the new KW sites, and we are keeping this updated as new updates come about. So this is a great resource to keep saved. So I'll go over this page from top to bottom. So right at the top of the page here, we have our live training calendar. So you can see all of our trainings for each day here. And you can also add our calendar to your Google Calendar by clicking the little plus icon here in the bottom right corner of the calendar widget. Below that, we have a link to our YouTube playlist that is based around the new KW sites. So if you follow this link here, this will pull up the playlist that has all of our new trainings and tip videos that go over the new site platform. Down below that, we do have some of our tip videos linked for easy access. So we have our section for what to do before launching your new KW site. So if you have not yet launched your new site, this is a great resource to use here. And then below that, we have some pin tip videos on what to do once you have launched your KW site. And last, down below that, we do have links to the KWRI provided articles for the KW sites. So if you need to find additional resources, you can locate those there. And I will also drop a link in the chat box to these articles as well. So as any new updates come about with the new agent sites, KWRI will drop any new articles within this section here. So this is also a great link to save where you can easily access it. So now that we've covered these, we can go ahead and jump back over to Command. So I'm going to click back to my Command tab over here. So if you have been with KW previously, you may remember that any custom content added to the website or any custom pages did have to be adjusted manually, such as any name changes, your headshot photo, your bio, or any other information when making any changes or updates. So now with the new Command sites, this information will update automatically with your marketing profile. So because of this, you do want to make sure that your marketing profile is always current and up to date and in good standing, as this is the information that is going to always feed over to your site. So before we dive into the sites, let's go ahead and jump into our marketing profile and go over how to update those items. So to access our marketing profile, we want to click on our name in the top right corner. And then we are going to go down to settings. Once we're in our settings here, we want to go to the left-hand side of the page, and we're going to go under the Connect settings. Once we click that drop down, we can find our marketing profile here. So we'll go ahead and click on that. So the first thing that I will point out for you is you'll see in the top right of this page, there is this green toggle button. So this means that our marketing profile is feeding over to our marketing. If this was toggled off, then this would turn off your marketing, which means that your website and your marketing will no longer be branded to you. So you do always want to make sure that this is toggled green unless you do want to hide your marketing. Next up, we have our headshot photo and our team logo. So for your headshot photo, you do want to be sure that it is cropped down to a square. If your photo looks distorted in the circle here, that is how it will show up on your marketing. So you will want to get that adjusted. If you do need assistance with adjusting or uploading your headshot photo, you can always send that over to us and we are happy to help get that adjusted for you as well. Next for the team logo. So if you are on a team, you can add your team logo in here. If you are not on a team, we do still recommend having something uploaded here because some of your marketing will automatically pull that logo in. So it may show up as a broken image on some of your marketing materials. So you can add in a generic KW logo like you see here on ours, or you can add in a designation realtor logo, or if you have a custom logo, anything you want to throw in there as a placeholder is fine. Next, we have our detail information. So if you ever have an update to your name or anything like that, this is where you want to make sure that stays current and up to date because this is going to feed into your website. We do recommend being sure that your name reflects your name on your license, just to make sure you are following compliance. And then we have our license number information, our team name if you are on a team. You can add a job title here. If you have a slogan for your business, you can add that in here. And then you have your designations and credentials. Most likely on your end, this section will say realtor. And if you're not sure how to get the little symbol at the end of the word, if you hold down the Alt key on your keyboard and type in 0174, that's going to give you that symbol there. Next below that, we have our military affiliation. So if you are affiliated with the military, you can add that into your profile here. So you can select from the first drop down what your affiliation is here. And then once you choose your affiliation, you will have another drop down menu to choose the branch that you are affiliated with. Once you set that, be sure that you click on the add button all the way to the right to make sure that saves. Otherwise, this part will not save when you click on the save button at the bottom of your profile. Next, you have your bio. So your bio in this box is how it will show up on your marketing as well as your website. So if you do have line breaks in between your paragraphs like you see here or anything similar to that, this is where you want to make sure that is reflecting how you want it to look. If you ever want to update your bio on your website, this is where you want to change that, as the new websites are automatically pulling this information in. Next, we have our contact information. So your phone number, your office phone number, you can add a fax number, your business email, and your website URL here. And then below that, we have our market center information. We do recommend always being sure that this information is up to date. So if by any chance you have transferred market centers or your market center has relocated, always be sure this is reflecting the correct address. For the market center logo, you'll see that this does look distorted here. That is perfectly fine. Unlike the headshot photo, the logos will automatically correct themselves. So this will look clear in the way it's supposed to once it loads into your marketing. Down below that, we have our compliance items. So if your market center has any legal text that they require in your legal footer, you can add that in here. You don't need to add the verbiage of each office is independently owned and operated. That is automatically on your marketing already. So that would appear twice if you were to type that in here. Next, you can add your legal footer links if you have any links that are required for compliance. For example, Texas agents need their commission information forms, and New York agents need their standard operating procedure forms. So that is where you can add those in there. And then next we have legal footer images. These are very small thumbnail size. You'll see in the description they are 128 by 48 pixels, so not very big. So you probably don't want to use this for any big advertising or anything. However, you could add in maybe additional credential logos, or if there's any images that your market center requires, you can add those in there. And then down below that, we have our social media links. So this is where you can add links to your business pages, whether you have your Facebook page set up, if you have a Twitter account, your Instagram page, if you have a YouTube channel, as well as your LinkedIn profile. And then down below that, you will see a spot for Google Analytics. However, this has now moved over to the new website platform. So we do not need to update this within the marketing profile here. So once we've completed updating our profile, we do want to make sure we click on the Save button at the bottom to save our changes. So now that we have covered our marketing profile, we can go ahead and jump into our consumer tab. So if you are still getting used to what each of these icons on the left-hand side are, you can click on the red KW in the top left corner, and that's going to bring out a description for each of these icons here. So we're going to go to the very last one, to consumer. So now that we are in our consumer tab, a couple of things I will go over since I know this looks a bit different from the original site. As far as the consumer tab, this basically replaces that site and app settings link that used to be in the top right corner of the consumer page. So here is where you can now update your website domain URL. So if you want to make any changes to this, you can simply enter your changes in the text box and click on the Save Changes button. And if that requested domain is available, it will let you know that it's successfully saved. Below that is where you can find the URL for your branded app link. So if you ever need to share the link to your branded KW app, you can grab that by clicking the copy button here and then pasting it wherever you need to paste that. Down below that, we have preferences. So these are the same as they were previously. This is if you want to show or disable the color covered information from your KW app. And then down below that, we have our options for forced registration. This is going to allow you to require your clients to sign up with a consumer login on your site based on the settings that you choose here, which is also going to capture their information as a new lead into your database. So you see you have the option for unrestricted, which means that visitors can view unlimited properties without having to register on your site. You can set the limit at a maximum of 10 properties. You can set it to 2 properties, or you can set it to no property viewing, which means they are not able to view any properties on your site without registering. We typically would not recommend this one because most people are not going to register without being able to view at least one property there. And of course, once you make any changes to this, be sure to click on the Save Changes button at the bottom of each section to save your changes. One other thing that I will mention before we jump over to the new site is that you may notice at the top here that you no longer see an option for landing pages. This is completely intentional as landing pages are officially retiring with the new sites. You will still have access to generate open house sign-in pages for your listings, which is still meant for capturing that contact lead information at your open houses while promoting the listing information, which I will show you how to do that a little bit later once we dive into our website here. So as far as the website goes, we will go ahead and click on the Edit My Website button here in the center to jump into the back end of our new site. Once this loads, you may see a pop-up for a quick tour. And I'll show you what that looks like here. So this pop-up may show up once you go to the back end of your site to take a little tour of the websites. So you can redirect back to this if you click out of it by clicking on that tour button in the top right. Just following up on the chat box here quick. So if you are not seeing the same page that we're showing here, it may be that your site has not switched over yet, or it may not have properly launched. So if you are having trouble with that, you can send us an email and we can jump in and take a look at that for you. And I will drop our email in the chat box here for you as well. If you have not yet upgraded to the new site, we do recommend following up on our information on how to preserve your content before you launch your new site. And if you have any trouble with that, you can send us an email and we are happy to jump in and take a look for you. Jay, we have seen some issues with new sites launching. So if you are having an issue on your end, you can email us and we can jump in and take a look and have that escalated for you if needed. So we're going to go ahead and jump back in here. So as far as today's coverage, we will just kind of work our way down the Edit My Website portion here. And we will go over these in order as they're listed, just to avoid too much confusion. All of the pages listed here are the default pages for each newly launched site. There is not currently an option to add additional custom pages to the site at this time, but this is coming very soon. So stay tuned for any updates on that. So for a brief overview of each of these, so we have our About the Agent page. So this is very similar to the About Me page on the Legacy site. So it's going to have your headshot, your bio, all of your contact information and details from your marketing profile. And then we have our homepage, which is going to be where your search option is, your hero images, your featured listings, as well as now testimonials and a blog. And then we have a blog list page. So with every newly launched site, KWRI has provided 4 default blogs. So everyone is automatically started with a buyer's guide blog. So before we do jump into these pages, the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and show you is how to generate the new open house sign-in page. So at the top of this page, we will see our website URL here. So if we click into this, this is going to open our live site. So if you are having an open house, you can either search for the property listing here, or if you have that listing added to your featured listings, you can go down to your featured listings and find the listing here. So we'll go ahead and just click on a listing from here. So to generate your open house sign-in page, what you're going to do is go to the listing page for your listing. And then you want to go to your search bar at the top and simply click here. And you want to go to the very end of the URL here. And we're going to do a /open house. We're not going to have any spaces or anything there, just all one word together, open house. And once we hit enter, that is going to regenerate our page as an open house sign-in sheet. So once this loads, you will see your property images here, the property address, the details, and then we have our sign-in information here. So if we go ahead and enter our details here, and then if we hit submit, we are going to get an error that we did not check the checkbox under the form here. So this is stating that they are consenting to receive emails, text messages, or any other correspondence from you once they complete this form, as this is going to send their contact information into your database as a new lead. So we'll go ahead and click on the submit button here. And then once they complete that sign-in form, they're going to be able to see your agent information here on the left-hand side. And then they're also going to be able to scan this QR code to pull up the property details on their device. So if you are utilizing a tablet or laptop or anything during your open house, you can keep this sign-in page up and utilize this to capture all of your walk-in information. Once you have finished capturing your client details, you can then go to the top left of the page, and there is a back to sign-in button here. And that's going to refresh your sign-in page to capture your next client's information. So now we're going to go ahead and head back to the back end of our website. And we're going to go ahead and dive into our pages here. So we're going to go ahead and start with the first one on the list here, which is our About the Agent page. So here in the center is going to give us a preview of what our page looks like. And then on the left-hand side is going to be the sections of the page that we can make changes to. So if we go ahead and click into Agent Profile, so because this automatically pulls from our marketing profile, we are not going to have anything to edit here. However, it does give the option to display or hide items from our page. So if we wanted to hide our agent profile from this page, we could change this to hide. And that would take our profile information off the top of the page there. So again, if you need to make any changes to this page, you do want to make sure that you are updating your marketing profile. Next, under section 2, we have agent details. So once again, this information pulls right from your marketing profile. So you will not have any options to add or change anything in this section aside from the display or hide option here. And then it will be the same thing for agent bio. So once again, your agent bio pulls right from your marketing profile information. So the only option you will have on the back end is to display or hide that. And then below that, we have preferred partners or preferred vendors. So this title may vary on your end than how it looks on our end because the title can be customized however you would like it. So ours is entered as preferred partners rather than preferred vendors, but it does keep that in the parentheses here. So with the preferred partners, you have the option to add these through a third-party platform called MoveEasy, which you'll see that in this description here. And to add these, you will want to click on the link that is linked within the word link here. And then once that loads, it's going to open a new tab here. And then this is where we can add vendors to our preferred vendor list. So up in the top right, we will have a add vendor button. And this is where we can add our vendor information. So you can add the vendor name, their website, their contact details, the vendor type. You can add in the counties that they service, and you can also add in their logo. Once you complete filling that out, you can click the add vendor button, and that is going to add that vendor to your preferred vendors list. There is also a helpful article on this as well under the KWRI articles. So you can find those within there. And I can drop a link to this one in the chat box for you in case you would like to save that to follow back on later. So now we'll go ahead and close out of this MoveEasy tab and go back to our website here. So if you make any changes to this page here, you do want to make sure that you click on the save button in the top right corner over here to save any changes that you have made. Once you click that, you will get a green banner letting you know that it was saved. And now we can go back and move on to our next page. So to get back to our dashboard, we can simply click on the KW logo in the top left corner here. And that's going to bring us back to our dashboard here. So our next page in the list here is our home page. So we'll go ahead and click into that. So again, these titles may differ on your end than they do on our end since these can be customized. So we'll go ahead and start with the first one and work our way through these. So our first section here is going to be for our title, which is the text that is above our search bar here. And then we have our hero images. So you do have default provided images, which are here, or you have the option to upload your own custom hero images. So if you had hero images custom on your previous legacy site and you did save those, you can then come in and upload those here. The size requirements for the hero images are 1700 by 500 pixels. So if we click on the upload files, that will give us the option to upload a new image. Or if we have already uploaded our files, we can simply click on the add image button here. That's going to bring up a box here. So if we click in this box, that's going to give us our images that we already have within our system. So I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these images here. And then we can just simply click out of this box to go back. And that's going to add our custom hero image there. Now you'll see that is only going to show the images that you have uploaded here. If you do begin uploading your own images, it will not show these default images unless you delete your custom images, or you can also add in these default images through the add image button here. So if we go back through here and click on this box here, those default images are saved here within the image platform. So if you do want to use those default images in addition to your own custom images, you can still utilize those if you would like to. If you want to remove any custom images that you have uploaded, you can do so by clicking on this red dash within the image box that you are looking to remove, and that will remove the image from your hero images for you. So now we'll go ahead and minimize this tab here and move on to our next one, which is going to be our featured listings. So you have the option to customize the title if you would like to, or you can leave it as the default featured listings title. You also have the option to add a description, which is going to be the text that shows up under the title here. And then we have our options down here for our featured listings. So this has changed a bit from the legacy site. So on the legacy site, you only had the option to manually add and manage your featured listings. Whereas with the new KW site, you have the option for dynamic. And what this means is that you can set a location point and choose the number of listings you would like to show, as well as the search radius. And that is going to pull in all of the listings that match your settings here, as well as any filters that you may set, and pull in those listings automatically, rather than you having to manually add those. Now, on top of that, if you do choose to use the dynamic option, you can still manually add listings as well. So down here under featured listings, we have this little plus button here. And this is where we can manually add listings. So if you are using the dynamic to automatically pull listings in, but you still want to make sure you are featuring your personal listings, you can add those in manually here. And anything added to this section will show up first on this list. If you don't want to use the dynamic option and you only want to manually add those like it was before, you can go up under this dynamic dropdown and change this to basic. And then this will work just like it did on the legacy site, where you will manually add your listings in here. I'm going to change this back over to dynamic here, because there is a couple more things to go over within this. So under the featured listings section where we can manually add our listings, there is also a filter dropdown. So if we click on filter listings, we can set additional filters to filter out those listings that are pulling in based on the criteria up here. So we have listing categories, and you can select more than one of these. So you can select or remove by simply clicking on them here. Same with listing status, you can select multiple at a time. Just keep in mind, this is only going to show listings that your MLS allows. So if your MLS by chance does not allow pending listings to be advertised, those may not pull in if you select the pending option. And same with the coming soon option. Next, we have property types. So you can select as many property types as you would like. You can just select a couple, you can select them all, whatever fits what you are looking to show on your website. You can also set limits for bathrooms, bedrooms, home size, lot size, as well as price range. So if you only want to show listings in a certain price range, you can set price limits in here. And then last at the bottom, you have the option to add in keywords. So for example, we have a couple already added in here. If you only want to show listings that have a pool, you can add that keyword in. If you want listings that have a garage, and you can add additional keywords as well. There is no limit on the amount of keywords that you can add. Just keep in mind that is going to limit the amount of listings that show up in your featured listings list. And if you ever want to remove keywords at any time, you can do so by simply clicking the red dash button, and that will remove that from your keywords list for you. So that goes over our featured listings section here. So I'm going to scroll all the way up and minimize this tab down just to get it out of the way. And then next we have section 3, which is featured testimonials. So if you have been with KW for a while and you were using the original legacy KW site, you'll know that testimonials were on its own page on the site. Whereas now with the new KW sites, testimonials are listed on the homepage of your site. So if I scroll down on the preview in the center, you'll see right under featured listings, we have our featured testimonials. Another thing to note is if you were using this on your legacy site, they did have a limit of 12 testimonials, and now they have increased that to 20. So you can show up to 20 testimonials on your site at a time. Just keep in mind, same with featured listings, if you have a lot showing, most likely your clients are not going to sit here and click through the arrows to view all of them. So you may want to limit that down to a manageable amount. So very similar to featured listings, you can select your listings in here if they have already been captured on your site. Although keep in mind that this is not going to pull in testimonials that were captured on your legacy site. So if you have captured any testimonials on your new KW site, you can pull those in by clicking the plus symbol here and selecting the testimonial from this list here. If you are looking to manually add a testimonial, whether it be from your legacy site or if it's from another platform such as Google or Zillow, anything like that, you can add testimonials in here manually by clicking on the Create New button. So if we click on Create New, this is going to open up a new window for us. And this is where we can create our testimonial. So you can add in your star rating. It goes 1 through 5. Your testimonial text will go in this box here. Next, you have your client's name. So first name and last name. Below that, we have the client sent date. Now this does require you to choose a specific date. If you don't have an exact date to set this on, you can just choose a random date that fits in the general time frame of your testimonial. And then below that, you have the option to add location information. And then we have a toggle for recommended. I will note that not all of this information is required to post this. The only items that are required for you to save are the star rating, the testimonial, the contact name, and the client sent date. Anything below the client sent date is not required. Once you fill in your form, be sure that you click on the Publish button in the top right. And once you click that, it's going to give you a green banner letting you know that it was successfully published. And then once that's complete, you can click on the Back button. And that's going to take you back to your page. And then you would be able to go in and select that testimonial that you had just added. If you want to remove any testimonials from your site, you can do so by clicking the red dash next to the testimonial you would like to remove. You can also manually reorder these. So you can click on these 3 lines with the arrow and drag these to reorder them, which I think is a great feature personally, because I know with the legacy sites, you did not have an option to order your testimonials. They were only listed in oldest to newest, and you couldn't manually adjust that. So I think that is a great added feature they've put in there. You can also have it sort automatically by newest published date to oldest published date, or vice versa. And then you choose your maximum to display here. And you also have some filtering options here if you want to filter them at all. So we're going to go up and drop this back down again. And then last below that, we have our blog. So every newly launched site is provided with this 4-part buyer's guide blog. These are automatically loaded on every newly launched KW site. They're a great resource here. And you also do have the option to add your own custom blogs if you would like. So you can go in here, and if you have your own custom blogs, you can reorder these the same way as you can testimonials. However, with this one, you probably want to keep these in order since they are a 4-part blog here. So you can display up to 4 on your main page. However, you do have the option to add more blogs. As you'll see, there is a read more button, and that takes you to the blog page on your site. And I'll go back and show you what that looks like in a bigger view here. So if we go down to our blog section, we have our 4 blogs here. So our 4-part buyer's guide blog that is automatically loaded. And then at the bottom of these is this read more button. So clicking this takes you to the blog page, which is also linked at the top of the site under blog. So if you add any additional blogs to your site, those will all be listed here, which you'll see we added a test one here. So we'll go ahead and minimize our blog section. So just like everything else, if you make any changes to your homepage under any of these sections, always make sure that you are clicking the save button in the top right to save your changes. You'll also see all the way to the right that we have this revision section. So this keeps track of any changes made within your site at any time. So if you ever need to go back and revert to a previous version, you can go in and find that version and revert back to it, or you can compare it to your live site, or you can edit your revision. So this keeps track of everything you've done, so you don't need to worry about losing any important information. If you make a change and you save it and then you realize you didn't want to change something, you can revert back to that, which is a great feature. Another thing that is nice about this is if you do make a change in here, so I'm just going to throw something in here to show you. So if we make a change and we don't click the save button, so for one, if we click out of this, it is going to give us a pop-up letting us know that our changes were not saved. So if we go ahead and click on leave, and then we click back into our homepage, which is down here under the edit your website section, it's going to restore our progress. So because we didn't save it and we clicked out of it, it does save that in the back end in case you still want to keep those changes you made. Now, if you were just playing around and you don't want to save those changes, you can come up here and click on the clear changes link, and that's going to clear out any changes that you don't want to save there. So if you make any changes, you forget to save it, and you accidentally close your browser out or close your computer down, it will save those revisions until you clear your changes out. So now we'll go ahead and go back to our dashboard. Again, we can always go back to our dashboard by clicking the KW logo in the top left. And then under our default pages, our last one is our blog list page. So this is very similar to the blog section on the home page. So if we click into this, this is going to show us the same thing we saw on that home page option, except this is going to show us everything that we have on our blog page. So because we have our additional blogs here, so that home page only shows 1 to 4. So any additional blogs that you may have added or created, you can view those all through this blog list page here. And again, you can remove blogs by clicking the red dash button. You can reorder these by clicking and dragging. And you can add additional blogs by clicking the plus icon here and clicking within that text box there. So if you already have a blog post created, you will see that in this section here. Or you can click on the new blog post in the bottom left of this pop-up box here. So I'm not going to save those changes there. So I'm going to go back into this page. And so I didn't make any serious changes, so it didn't save those revisions here. But we're not going to save anything on here. And then the last thing on this list under Edit Our Website is going to be under Default Modules, which is going to be our contact form. So this is our contact form. So if you remember from the original site platform, your contact form was at the bottom of your page. So this is very similar to that. However, it does look a bit nicer, as you can see here in the preview. So you'll see on the left-hand side, we don't have much of editing options to confuse us with. We do have the option, however, to change the title. So if you want to change the text that shows up above the contact form here, you can change that through the title box here. And again, if you make any changes to this, be sure that you click on the Save button in the top right corner. So the last thing that I'm going to show you back here on the dashboard is you now have the option to change the color scheme of your site. So if we go to the top left and click on the 3 lines here, we can go under Admin and then Organization Site. And this is going to take us to a back end of this dashboard. So we have our name here, which is default, and then we have our org theme. So this is going to be the color theme of our website. So there isn't a lot of options here. So you have the option for default, slate dark, or slate light. So you can kind of switch those back and forth and see which option you like better. So you can select an option, click on the save button in the top right, and then take a look at your live site and see what each of those different color themes look like and choose whichever one suits you the best. The last thing I will go over on this page here is if we scroll all the way down, we have the option here for Google Analytics Tracking ID. So this is where the Google Analytics code has moved to. So before we would set this up within the marketing profile, and now this would get added in here. So Google Analytics is typically used to track the traffic going to your website. So if you need any assistance with setting up your Google Analytics, you can reach out to us and we can get that adjusted for you if you would like. Or if you would like to set that up yourself, this is where you would enter that tracking ID in. And again, if you make any changes to this, just like the other pages, always remember to click on that save button in the top right. So before we wrap this up completely for today, I will go ahead and show you what the full live site looks like. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard here, and I'm going to click on our link here at the top and open our website up. So right away at the top, we have our hero images and our search options. Then we have our featured listings here. So we can scroll through these. Down below featured listings, we have our featured testimonials. And then down below that, we have our blog section. And again, you'll have your contact form at the bottom of your page here. So you'll see this does look a whole lot cleaner than the original one did. And then down below that, we have our market center information and our contact information as well. Going back up to the top, we have our About Me page. So again, all of this information pulls directly from your marketing profile. So if any of this needs to be updated at any time, you want to make sure that you are updating your marketing profile for this. We have seen that any updates do take up to 30 minutes to reflect. So if you make any changes and you're not seeing that update within your site right away, it may just need some time to update. Below that, we have our preferred partners section or preferred vendors, however you title your section there. And again, our contact form down here. Next, we have search properties. This is very similar to the legacy site. It just looks a little bit cleaner. So you can search for property listings by location, by city, neighborhood, address, school, postal code. All of the same options that you had before or within the consumer app will feed over here. Back to the top right, we have our blog page, which we already took a look at previously. And then we have a more option. So this is where our leave a review page is located. So anyone that fills out this form here, that testimonial will be added to your testimonial section for you to select on your testimonials. Just make sure that they are filling out all of these sections here as they are all required. So if your client reaches out and says they're having trouble submitting the review form, it's most likely because they are not filling in all of the required sections here. And then last, all the way to the top right, we have the login option. So this is where your clients can log in or sign into your consumer site. So if you already have clients that have previously created a consumer login on your legacy site, they will still use that same login information, and all of their saved collections or searches, anything like that, will carry over to the new site. So you don't need to worry about any of that being lost within the new site transition. All of your social media links will be linked at the top here, all the way in the top right. And then the last feature that I will go over, which I think is a great addition to the sites, is in the very top right, you'll see the globe icon. So if we click on this, this gives the option to change the language of the site. So if you have any clients that are speaking a different language, they can go into this icon and change the site to fit their language. So we can simply click on the suggested language there, and it automatically translates the site to the language selected. So we'll go ahead and click that back and change that back to English here. And that about wraps us up for today. If you are having any trouble with your site, or you're stuck on anything, or have any issues at all, please reach out to us anytime at support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we would be happy to help out. Thank you for joining today, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week.